Hoodie guy coming back here with another Kaspa video. All right, well, you probably saw the SUI hack. Then the validators, they decided to freeze the wallet after the hack. Right here, this person posted, if a blockchain can unilaterally freeze a wallet after a hack, it's not decentralized, it's a fintech app with a token. Today, SUI just proved that. Code is supposed to be law. This is not decentralization. This is a scam wrapped in marketing. And so kind of brings the point of what really drives the price. And you can see that I think overall, and this isn't like a perfect diagram, but I do think market conditions in general drive the price for most projects. There's some hype, luck, and tech. Somewhere those can get all wrapped together, and maybe the hype and luck that the big market makers and people that are exchanges and people that have lots of influence in the space decide to push this project over another project. Obviously, the VC backed ones get pushed by them. They pay a lot of influencers. So a lot of what Kaspa has done is organic. Plus, to get listed anywhere, those exchanges have to buy the coins, so they're not getting those coins for free, or they're not getting paid for listing. So everything has to happen organically. But at the end of the day, point is that you're trying to increase your purchasing power, and the market right now says that SUI, a more centralized, project, is, didn't get penalized for having a big hack and being able to freeze the hacker's wallet. That's one thing about Tether too, is Tether can freeze those transactions. So in the end, that's not really good for the overall market. You can see SUI's listed everywhere. You can see there's a lot of centralized projects in the top. Binance is super centralized, and that doesn't make me lose faith in Kaspa, but it just shows that the market, you'll see meme coins that have no utility way up there, and projects that have better technology, more decentralization, not up as high. So that if you're being honest, at some point you have to say, hey, I believe in this project, I believe where it's going, but I know that there's other factors that can control the price above just the technology being adopted. And so we'll see how it shakes out. I think things are lining up for a pretty good rest of this bull run for Kaspa, even if it just follows market conditions and it doesn't overpower that and gain any extra narratives. But also with being a decentralized proof of work that is so fast, and final settlement time 10 seconds, 7 seconds. I think it was 10 seconds, but I think it might be, since Crescendo, I think the final settlement might be 7 seconds. It's pretty awesome, but the market right now is not pricing that in my opinion. The hash rate, 1.03 exahash. So you can see we're still down from the all-time high hash rate, but it's starting to trickle back up a little bit since it kind of bottomed out about 900 petahashes. Trickling back up, with the rapid admission schedules that Kaspa has, it's going to need transaction fees. Even by 2028, the fees are going to be, everything got reduced by 10, or not reduced, but divided by 10, since now the admission schedule is the same. It's just there's more blocks. So 10 times more blocks means each block gets 1/10 of what it used to get. There's just more blocks out there. So basically it went from 55 Kaspa to 5.5 Kaspa. But you can see that it's, basically going to go by 2028, the next Bitcoin halving, it's going to be down to half a Kaspa per block, or, basically 5 Kaspa per block if you went, in a sense, the same as if it was pre-Crescendo hard fork rewards. So the rewards will be 10 times less than they are now. So that just shows that you're going to need transaction fees. There's a lot of things with the layer 2s and smart contracts and a lot of what KII is doing, but you need that stuff implemented and usage to pop up and more wallets and everything. Right now, you can still see we're hanging around 526,000 wallets, over 500,000. So it's been hanging out there. We'll need to see that up into the millions. And I think someday it'll get there. We just don't know exactly. Some people think it's going to be a super cycle this time. I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't happen, then I'm not sure how much the smart contracts and the level 2s and all that stuff will be done, and what narratives can be pushed there on this cycle. If it turns into more of a super cycle, then that's going to change the game, because there'll be more development going along in Kaspa, more smart contracts coming, and things like that. And it'll be more active. So I'll probably just go to do Saturdays. I'll talk about my portfolio a little bit. I know some people in the Kaspa community are like, why only 7%? Because the majority of my content is Kaspa. And, I do make maybe around one dog Bitcoin video a week. And sometimes every now and then another type of video, but I haven't done that in a while. Been posting less frequently now, just more life stuff going on. But for me, this is just a portfolio that matches up to with my risk tolerance. That's why, most of my stocks are Bitcoin ETFs, and you can see about half of Bitcoin. And that's just what works for me and my risk tolerance. I know I've seen people comment that they think that Kaspa is just as safe as an investment as Bitcoin. I don't think it is. I think Kaspa's got more upside, but their big money that's going into Bitcoin is going to protect their investment. They're going to protect those narratives, and they're going to protect it. And the more money that flows into there, the more power players, the more protective they're going to be of that. So to me, I don't think Kaspa is super risky, but I don't think it's as safe as Bitcoin. And that's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. That's just what works for me. And then dog Bitcoin, I had a lot of that airdrop to me, and then it's going up a lot. So, it was down to like 17% or 20% of my portfolio. Now it's up to 31% because it's been pumping. And so if Kaspa starts pumping, it'll start gaining market share. Now with this other stuff going on in my life, I'm not going to be adding to my positions. I'm going to be playing defense and looking to take profit on pumps later on in the cycle. Outside of that, I'm not adding to any of my positions. I feel pretty comfortable with them. All throughout the bear market, loading up on my positions. So I'm feeling pretty good. But for me, I feel good with my Kaspa bag. So I don't feel like I need to make it half my portfolio for me to feel comfortable with my Kaspa bag in order to feel like if it wins, then I need to win. And that's just for me. We all have little bit different portfolios. I know a lot of people in Kaspa also like Bitcoin. Then there's a lot of people who watch these videos that are Kaspa maxis. That's fine. I don't think personally though, I think being a maximalist in any project, basically you're saying that you know the future. And I think that there's a lot of unknowns in the future. Even with Bitcoin, there's unknowns. There's stuff we know that we don't know, and there's stuff that we don't know that we don't know. And anything can happen. And I think that you can see a lot of the most popular channels of Bitcoin, Kaspa, whatever. They're people that just really pump hopium into the people's veins, and that's good, and it's good to be bullish. But you got to be realistic sometimes, like how market conditions can drive prices. So as much as Bitcoin is a store of value and people are loading up on it, there's some negative tariff news and it goes down, temporarily. So that's basically it. Some other stuff like ADA, I wouldn't probably go buy ADA now, but I had some leftover ordinals, I had that really most of those before I started getting into Kaspa. So some of that stuff's kind of left over, and if I probably redid my portfolio today, it'd look a little bit different, but I feel good about that. And, my videos are kind of a hobby, and my portfolio is something I'm doing to try to protect my family's wealth, grow it, and for being risky and being mostly all in on crypto, I feel like having Bitcoin is a more conservative thing in my opinion, and that's what works for me, and that's basically about it. And I think that Kaspa's got a bright future. I also think that it's not completely written in stone that future is gonna be what everyone thinks it's gonna be. And I think it's risky maybe not to hold any Kaspa, but I also think it's risky just to think that whatever future you imagine is completely written in stone, whatever project it is, because you can go to HBAR and XRP, and there's people legit that XRP think that all the Bitcoin money is going to flow into XRP, and HBAR, there's a lot of people that believe in that. So I don't know, that's just for me. This cycle, I've made my bets and I'm not trying to jump around. And when I jump around, like I converted some ADA into Kaspa, and right after I did that last year, ADA did a 3x and Kaspa went down just a hair, was even. So that wasn't a good move. So I'm not making a ton of moves. At this point, I'm just playing defense, and I guess that's kind of a long-winded convoluted answer, but that's why my portfolio is 7%, and I have a decent sized bag, what I consider a decent sized bag, and I'm locked and loaded for Kaspa to keep going up. And if it doesn't perform as well, then that's fine. I have other things in my portfolio that'll hold up, and that's good. So let me know what percentage of Kaspa you have in your portfolio. And thanks for watching, and have a good day.